What happens when you take a short cruise on a ship like Independence of the Seas? Packed bars, Broadway-style shows, families everywhere, and a lively atmosphere you just don't get on every cruise line. I've been intrigued by Royal Caribbean for a while now. On one of my Caribbean cruises with Britannia, I remember seeing Oasis of the Seas docked right next to us in Curaçao, and it absolutely towered over the port. Then a few days later in St. Martin, Wonder of the Seas and Rhapsody of the Seas were both in at the same time. Seeing ships of that scale up close really made me curious about what Royal Caribbean was all about, and whether I'd actually enjoy that big ship experience myself. So this 3-night taster cruise from Southampton to Zeebrugge felt like the perfect way to find out. And in this video, I'll share my honest review. From the food and entertainment to the atmosphere and crowds, here's exactly what it was like sailing on Independence of the Seas. Independence is big. She carries nearly 4,000 passengers, but thanks to the clever design, it rarely felt overwhelming. The Royal Promenade is the centerpiece, buzzing from morning to night with parades, live music, and bars on every corner. The flow of the ship impressed me. Even on the sea day, when you'd expect it to feel packed, I could still move around easily without the bottlenecks I've experienced on some newer ships. And here's something that surprised me. No sunbed wars. By 10 o'clock on the sea day, I still found a lounger in the solarium. You might not get one right by the main pool, unless you're up early, but there was always space somewhere. The only downside is that in the evenings, quiet spots were hard to come by. Independence is a ship that stays lively late into the night, and if you're looking for peace and quiet, you may struggle to find it. Although Independence still feels lively and fun, you can tell she's one of the older ships in the fleet. The 2018 refurbishment added water slides, playmakers, and a few new venues, but the overall decor does feel dated in places. Cabins are really starting to show their age. There are lots of wood, patterned carpets, and the sort of color schemes that were popular when Independence of the Seas launched back in 2008. They're clean and comfortable, but you won't find the lighter, more modern look you get on newer ships. Storage space is good, and everything worked perfectly fine, but the style definitely reflects an earlier era of Royal Caribbean design. It didn't spoil the experience, but if you're expecting something sleek and modern, it's worth knowing what to expect. Food is a big part of any cruise, so let's talk about dining. The main dining room was fine, formal night. Didn't feel quite as elevated as I've had on other lines, but the food was enjoyable. The Windjammer buffet had plenty of choice, though at peak times it was very busy. Casual dining stood out. I loved the shrimp and chips at Fish and Chips. Hot, tasty, and a proper portion. Sorrento's pizza was cheesy and perfect for a late-night bite. But the star was Izumi Hibachi. It's an upcharge restaurant, so you do pay extra for it. But it's part meal, part show, with chefs cooking right in front of you, juggling utensils, and keeping everyone entertained. The chicken hibachi with garlic rice and stir-fried veg was excellent. If you want to see every single dining option on Independence, I've made a full dining review. I'll link that at the end of this video, so don't miss it. Once you've explored all the dining options, the next thing you notice on Independence is the atmosphere, and it's a lively one. Let's be honest on this sailing, the bars were packed. At times it definitely felt like a booze cruise. I even met someone doing a back-to-back who told me the week before had a totally different vibe, much calmer and more relaxed. This one was full of birthday groups, stag and hen parties, alongside lots of families. If you wanted a drink at peak times, you had to be patient. Queues at the bars could get long, particularly in popular spots on the Royal Promenade, like Ale and Anchor. Also, boleros, playmakers, sports bar, and schooners on Deck 4 were always heaving. So get to them early if you want a seat. But the variety of venues made up for it. My personal favorite was the Star Lounge. It had a buzzing vibe, but was still more relaxed than the Royal Promenade. And here's a tip for you. If the pool bar and Sky Lounge bars are busy, then head to the Solarium bar, which had much less queues. I never had to wait long there for a drink. And even on the Royal Promenade at night, there was still plenty of room for everyone to walk around. If you want to spend some time on the Royal Promenade, but there are no tables in Ale and Anchor or Vintages, Then grab a drink and sit at the table at the outside of Café Promenade. There were always tables there, so you could still get the vibe and atmosphere of the Royal Promenade. There were also lots of families on board as well, so it wasn't just a booze cruise, and the pools and Splashaway Bay were always busy. However, with so many different activities to do on board for families such as the flow rider, mini golf and water slides, there seemed to be more space for everyone, not like on P&O Avia. The entertainment was one of the highlights. You get the full Broadway production of Grease, and it was brilliant, easily one of the best shows I've seen at sea. The Barricade Boys were also excellent. And then there's the ice skating show, something unique to Royal Caribbean. The standard of performance was excellent, and it's a must-see. One tip: arrive early for the theatre or ice shows. Seats fill up fast, especially on a short cruise where everyone wants to experience it. Elsewhere, there was always something happening. Bingo, live music in multiple venues, quizzes, casino action, flow rider surf simulator, climbing wall. The energy on board is on another level compared to more traditional cruise lines. This itinerary included one port of call, Zeebrugge, for Bruges. Unless you do a Royal Caribbean shore excursion, you catch a free shuttle to the port entrance. You can't walk. And once you get there, it's an easy shuttle or train ride into Bruges. Opposite the cruise terminal, entrance there is a shop where you catch the shuttle into Bruges. You can book it in advance, which I did with Get Your Guide or on the day. They go every half an hour. Then it's around a mile to walk from where they drop you off into the centre of Bruges itself. And once you're there, it's a picture-perfect city. Canals, cobbled streets, marked square, chocolate, beer, and waffles. Bruges really is a gem. My tip is to pre-book your transport into Bruges. Queues for shuttles and trains can build up, and you don't want to waste your short time ashore standing in line. So, would I sail with Royal Caribbean again after this short cruise? The answer is absolutely yes. Independence of the Seas had a fantastic buzz. The entertainment was top-notch. And even though this sailing leaned more towards a booze cruise vibe, I still really enjoyed it. And it gave me a real taste of what Royal Caribbean is all about. I've already booked Liberty of the Seas for June 2026, so clearly this first experience has hooked me in. This short cruise was the perfect taster. Independence isn't a quiet traditional cruise. It's lively, social, and full of personality. And that's exactly what made it so enjoyable. So that's my honest review of Independence of the Seas. And if you'd like more honest cruise reviews, ship tours, and port guides, make sure you subscribe, as there's plenty more Royal Caribbean, Princess, and P&O content coming very soon.